My guest today is the founder and owner of the Rogue Warriors training compound. This is his second appearance with me on the show. The first time, his Rogue Warriors YouTube channel, when he was on, had about, I think we said 14,000 subscribers. And that was just a couple of months ago. And what a difference 2 months can make. It now has well over 23,000 subscribers and growing daily. Word quickly is spreading in the Aikido world about Lenny Sly, who teaches Tenshin Aikido at his compound outside of Chicago, Illinois. Also on the Rogue Warriors channel on YouTube and through his online classes that can be accessed through subscription at roguewarriorstraining.com. I definitely want to take some time to talk about those online classes. He'll also be taking part in Miles Kessler's Aikido at the Leading Edge online telesummit coming up in May. Life is getting busy for you lately, Lenny. It's great to have you again. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edgar. This is truly an honor to be a part of this radio show a second time around. It's thank you. I really appreciate it.
No, it's been super. It was super fun the first time, so I'm looking forward to whatever happens here. Now, you were recently. Let's get this out of the way. You were recently invited to Miles Kessler's Aikido at the Leading Edge telesummit. Tell me about that. That's kind of exciting.
It's very exciting to tell you the truth. It's I had a conversation with him yesterday over the telephone, and for those of you that don't know where Miles is at, Miles called me from Israel. Yeah, that's a little bit of ways. You know, that's not California like where you're calling from. That's on the other side of the pond, and it was a great conversation. It really was. I listened to his interview not once, not twice, but 3 times, and I was very intrigued by what he said, and I was very humbled that he spoke about me in his interview. You know, that I was just humbled by that. It was really cool. And then when I got to speak with him on the phone, man, what a cool guy. I mean, seriously, and I didn't have like any, how can I put it? I didn't have any like bad thoughts about the guy or anything like that, before I spoke with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
totally like just a super cool guy. I could have sat on the phone with him for 3 hours. He's like, hey, 20 minutes. It ended up being like 45 minutes, I think, of a phone call. And we just started talking, and it's just kind of like that connection that we had with the communication on the phone with the conversation. It kind of felt like he was an old friend and we were catching up. That's kind of like the vibe that I was getting. And very cool, laid back, easy going, very easy to speak with. Just a cool guy, all around cool guy.
Yeah, what I've seen, I mean, he seems like really nice, and he's got you roped up in this event he's putting on. What's that about? What are you going to end up doing there?
Well, I guess I'm going to be a part of a panel discussion, and that was interesting too, because I think he was mentioning they had like 35 or 40 people that he had a part of this, talking about questions and the whole thing about it, and it was interesting. And he's like, yeah, I want you to be a part of this panel discussion, and I go, okay, great. I go, what type of questions are we going to be answering? He goes, I really want to know what your thoughts are on, is Aikido a martial art? And I'm like, you might just want to have me as the only person talking about this, because it's like that's going to be a huge topic to talk about, and discussing with other people, which is going to be cool. A couple of my friends are there that are going to be at this telesummit as well, which is really cool. Josh Gold is one of them, and which I believe you're doing an interview with Josh on Monday.
Yeah, that's coming up.
And then Roy Dean, which I got to speak with Roy Dean for about 2 hours last Sunday. On Easter Sunday, we spoke for 2 hours, and another really great guy. I mean, I had a great conversation with him, and time flew. It's like 2 hours later, we're knee deep in the conversation, and that was interesting. That was really interesting. Really laid back, cool guy. Likes what I do, supports what I do, like how I support what he does and everything. This is a great experience. But the other question is, is Aikido a martial art? Is it a martial art? Absolutely, it's a martial art. I mean, I guess I'm just going to start rattling the ray. Excuse me,
Well,
rattling the
just
ray.
give us a little summary. I don't want to take too much from the summit. That should be exciting because
It's
they're putting you up against. I mean, they have you on one spectrum. They might have like a pacifist on the other end, so that'll be
which
interesting.
is fantastic because
Yeah.
I'm always
So,
up for a challenge.
so give us your thesis for that. Just that
Well,
part.
in my opinion, it's like as we talked before. I mean, I've been in martial arts for a very long time, and the funny thing is, Miles actually agreed with me on this. And there's going to be people that are going to disagree, and that's fine. That's they're entitled to their opinion. But the truth of the matter is Aikido a martial art? It absolutely is. Okay, 100%. It's a martial art. It came from a very, very, very serious form of jiu-jitsu. Okay, Daitoru Aikido Jiu-Jitsu, which is a battlefield-proven martial art system, which O-sensei was deeply involved in before he branched off and developed Aikido.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't hear a lot about spiritual type of training in Daitoru. It was a fighting style. Okay, and this is my opinion, but the thing is, I've studied several different martial arts. Martial arts, and this is this type of how can I put this? What I'm about to say is really geared towards two different types of people. The first type of person is the people that have been waiting to hear somebody like me speak about this. There's a lot of people that have personally messaged me that have said, thank you so much for saying what you say about Aikido and your thoughts on Aikido, what you believe Aikido is. I've been thinking those thoughts for the past 15 years of my life. Thank you so much for doing that. Then you're going to have the other side that doesn't want to believe what you're saying. Okay? No. They don't want to believe it because they've been spending all of these years training in this form of martial art, but they're taking it. They're training in the other spectrum, the personal growth, the personal development, the spiritual side. Having a place where people gather together and you're training in techniques and you're going through the movements, but it's not really a study group. They're doing it for personal refinement. And Aikido is about that. Absolutely. It's about that. Okay. But the truth of the matter with Aikido being a martial art is martial arts is all about violence. This is where everyone's going to say, no, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, people, wake up. Yes, it is.
All right, let me stop you there. That's a good teaser for what's coming up because I mean they're putting you up against some guys who will obviously disagree with you, so it should be an engaging, interesting discussion. This is coming up in May. I forget the dates, but I'll put a link up on the video afterward. That should be really exciting, and it's cool that they're having you be a part of that. I think they're doing that on the last day with you. I'm not sure the schedule, but we'll see.
He said he was gonna have the schedule up soon.
Oh yeah,
and then
I think it's the 12th through the 21st, something like that.
Yeah, it's the 12th to the 21st. I told him what my schedule was, so pretty much I was really only available on the weeknights. I can't do anything during the day, and Friday I'm not gonna be able to do anything at all, which is the 19th. I won't be able to do anything at all on Friday. So
that's good. He's working around you, though.
Yeah, he's working around that, which is great. And just I thanked him. I'm very honored to be a part of this. I mean, there's thousands of people that he could have be a part of this, and he chose me. And
yeah, I mean,
I really don't know what else to say. I'm kind of speechless by it because it's awesome.
You're sharing company with Christian Tissier and Linda Holiday and others well known in the Aikido world. Obviously, different views, different styles. That should be real interesting. Aikido at the leading edge coming up in May. Lenny Sly will be a part of that. I want to talk about some of the stuff you're doing. I mean, you're doing all right yourself. I've done a handful of interviews with people in Aikido land. They seem really popular. I really like Aikido. I just kind of talk about whatever I want on this show. So I've done a few Aikido interviews, but my first interview with you was by far the most popular. The full interview, I think, was about an hour and 12 minutes long. Yeah. I also released a 10-minute segment, sampler clip. I think we were talking about Aikido and the UFC. And combined, I mean, right now they've got over 17,000 clicks in a very short period of time. Your YouTube channel, as I mentioned, it is exploding right now. A couple of your videos have well over 100,000 views, if I'm not mistaken. And
one of them is almost at 250,000 views.
Oh,
and
so we got way more than that, yeah.
This is crazy about this.
Yeah, you're gaining more views every day. It seems like, I think you got just a couple thousand subscribers in a short period of time recently. And at this rate, I mean, it's safe to say that you are well on track to have the most popular Aikido presence on YouTube. You mentioned that in the talk we had the other day. I mean, what's going on? Why are people tuning in to Lenny Sly for their Aikido education?
A miracle's happening. I don't know. It's excuse me. It's this is great that you're talking about this, because it's the past couple of days. I think this started exploding last Wednesday, and all of a sudden, about 2 weeks ago, the video that I did that's called the wrist lock that will break your shit.
Yeah, that was popular.
That one started going up in views probably about 2 weeks ago, and it was growing steadily. And then the one video, it was originally called the top 5 man stoppers, and it got changed to how to fuck somebody up in 5 simple moves.
Yeah, I think I searched for it. That was the new name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had 89,000 views as of last Wednesday.
A good title.
Thank you.
That must have helped. No, that's really cool. Those are both on your, I mean, you do Tenshin Aikido classes online and also on YouTube, and this is from your Combative Concepts side. Both of these, right?
Yes, both of these were Combative Concepts videos. The one that had 89,000 views last Wednesday, it all of a sudden there's this huge spike, and it started jumping up a couple thousand views an hour. And I'm like, what's going on with this? I started noticing this, and I started, once a video starts gaining popularity and it starts growing rapidly, because the prior YouTube channel that I was on before I started this YouTube channel, that got a lot of attention, obviously, because I was very controversial on that channel. And those 2 videos that are growing right now were originally on that channel. I uploaded them on this channel because they were popular on that one. Plus, they were older videos. They were good videos. I'm like, kind of like, oldies, type of thing. So I uploaded them on this channel about 8 months ago, and they started growing. Well, the top 5 man stopper video started getting a lot of attention, and it's still getting a lot of attention. It was 50,000 views behind the wrist lock that will break your shit video. 50,000.
Yeah.
Within 3 days, not even actually, it surpassed that video. I believe it surpassed it on Thursday evening or Friday morning. It surpassed it, and it was jumping up. I mean, a couple thousand views an hour.
Yeah.
Not a day.
You think somebody shared it? Like you got an article on it or something that we don't know about?
I don't. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I do kind of have a theory. I'll get to that in a second. But I started checking the analytics and started looking at the subscribers and stuff and how many subscribers. We started jumping up subscribers, rapidly jumping up subscribers. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and if my prediction is correct, tomorrow morning we should be at 24,000 subscribers. We're getting 1,000 subscribers roughly in a 24-hour period. Oh. Where before I was getting anywhere from 40 to 80 to 100 in the beginning of last week. Now I'm hitting 1,000 subscribers a day out of freaking nowhere. Out of nowhere. Well, if you guys know anything about YouTube, I've done some extensive research on YouTube, and I've educated myself by watching some top YouTubers, their channels, and their videos that they put out on how to make your YouTube channel grow. Everything is interconnected within your YouTube channel. Your description that you put out, the description that you write on your YouTube channel, it should include the tags that you use on your YouTube channel. You being having a YouTube channel, you know how you tag videos.
Yeah.
Right? You tag those videos. You incorporate that into your description of the video that you're presenting, that you're uploading. If a tag or two tags are within your title, that is also a plus. If you have a professional looking thumbnail, which I created that months ago, and all your videos are like that,
yeah, those help.
Yeah. On top of it, all of this together, your audience, people that watch your channel, it now gives you relevance. Yeah. I'm relevant to the YouTube community with the martial art that I study, the martial art that I train, the martial art that I teach, and people are engaging and they're watching the channel. YouTube has, from what I understand from watching some of these bigger YouTubers, they have pretty high-tech software. It's capable of listening to your video. The software can listen to your video, and it has access to your whole entire video through the software. So if it sees that you are doing all the necessary steps, proper title, proper description, your tags are in the title and description, it looks at the engagement of people watching your stuff, watching your videos. I think YouTube pretty much looks at, this guy has all the elements of somebody that is taking this seriously. Because there's people out there that have YouTube channels that might have 3 or 4 videos, like a life hack video that has 1 million views on it in a matter of 3 or 4 days, but the other stuff that they have does not have a lot of videos. They just struck gold with that particular video. Yeah. You don't have to have a ton of subscribers to get a lot of views on one video. You just have to have relevance of the reason why you're on there and have an audience that's going to watch. I wish I knew these skills back when I was on the other channel. The other channel was, I built that channel. I added 77,000 subscribers to that channel with a channel that already had 27,000 when I came on it. So I almost tripled the amount of subscribers that was on that in less than a year. If I had all this information before and applied it to that YouTube channel will probably have 300,000 subscribers, which it doesn't. It only has, it can't get over 115,000 subscribers.
No, that's good. You can use that for this channel now. And
that's exactly what I've been doing.
And I thought you were just going to say I make, kick-ass videos. I mean, they're just so good. Everybody wants to see them now and subscribe. But you're giving me all these analytics. But I guess that has a lot to do with it sometimes if you play your YouTube.
It does. I put a lot of the one thing that really took me back, I sat back and I was just like, wow. When I was talking to Miles, or I was speaking with him and that conversation went well, but when I heard what he said about me at the end of his interview, saying, Lenny's excellent. He's good, man. He was at, just the way how he complimented me. It's like that, that was freaking awesome. It really was. And obviously everybody likes recognition for the hard work that you do and what you, and the passion that you have about yourself, and especially how you put it towards, your craft. And my craft is, Aikido. I love Aikido. Apparently you love Aikido. A lot of people love Aikido, and I think some people get the wrong impression about, my hashtag that I created, taking Aikido back. Aikido wasn't taken away from us, okay? What I meant by taking Aikido back is I'm taking the martial arts side of it back. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to practice the spiritual side of it, whatever, that's fine. Go right ahead. You want to, self-help, self-improvement, whatever it is, I get it. That's universal. But some people want to take that to the extreme and do that. Go right ahead. But like I said 15 minutes ago, Aikido is a martial art, and that's what it needs to stay as a martial art. This really isn't about trying to compete with the MMA or the UFC guys. It's not really about that. It's putting Aikido back on the map as a serious martial art. You know what I'm saying? People have bashed this system and it doesn't work and this, that, and whatever. And
from the lack of the emphasis on the martial side of it, like you've said.
Yes, there's another reason for this too. Uh-huh. Okay, people don't understand Aikido unless you train in Aikido. You're not going to understand Aikido. Yeah. Why was UFC so successful in the beginning? with Royce Gracie doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Why was it so? Why could nobody could beat the guy? Why?
Nobody knew how.
Nobody knew how.
No, with the
Nobody knew how
Gracie
to
Jiu-Jitsu,
defend
they're
against
promoting
Brazilian
it.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Okay, Aikido's a little bit different because you're not going to be finding a lot of Aikido guys jumping into the UFC, because they're passive aggressive, they're non-violent, non-confrontational type of people. That's 99% of the Aikido community. You know, it's a martial art that doctors, lawyers, highly intelligent people train in this martial art because it stimulates their brain. Karate is not going to stimulate somebody's brain that's very intelligent. You know, being a doctor and a lawyer, not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a lawyer. Okay?
Yeah.
But not every doctor and lawyer can be a Navy SEAL either.
All right.
Okay, if you can see my point with that. The 1%ers of the Aikido world, and I am one of those 1%ers in the Aikido world, okay? This is where my stuff would work in the UFC. Somebody like me, I'm 46 years old, I'm a little too old to jump in the ring with something like this.
Yeah.
Getting involved with that, the 1%er, you got to find that 1%er that's willing to do that. You know, and it's going to be a hard thing to do.
Have you heard of Jason DeLucia?
No, I don't believe I have.
He's a guy. He was in the UFC for a while. He just did several matches. He did okay, and he has. I think he has his combat Aikido videos up on YouTube. I guess if you haven't heard of him, but he was in the UFC, and he has a big background in Aikido. Kind of did the combat stuff, and he did some instructional stuff on there. But he never. I don't think he ever used any Aikido in that. I mean, he might be one that 1%, but I don't think he ever used it. If you haven't heard of him, I guess you'd have a hard time commenting on it. But it's interesting that he did combat Aikido, but when he did UFC, I mean, he fought Baz, what's his name, Baz Rutten.
Baz Rutten, okay.
Yeah, and he fought him, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it was all striking and the typical stuff you see. So I mean, I wonder why a guy like that wouldn't do anything. I mean, he might do it completely different. You'd have to look into the stuff he does, I guess, to answer fairly. But anyway, recently I saw an ad for Rogue Warriors Training Compound. Of course, you have people train there with you. One of your ads reads, "Tenshin Aikido, the only Aikido that works."
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That's yeah. That ruffled some feathers. Somebody got a little butthurt because I said that.
Okay, so that wasn't from you. It wasn't your ad campaign screwing up or anything.
No.
It might have been good, though. It might have worked for you.
That ad, that's the one that has the pictures that show multiple pictures.
Yeah, it's got a slideshow. I think I saw it on Instagram.
I created that.
It's a nice ad.
That was my ad, and yeah, Tenshin Aikido, the only Aikido that works.
Well, you get the attention. So yeah, tell me about Tenshin Aikido. A lot of people are from the traditional side that listen to you, but they don't know what's Tenshin Aikido.
Well, Tenshin Aikido, it's okay. I need to clear the airwaves with this right now. I need to lay it out in the line so people understand this.
Oh, good.
Tenshin Aikido. This is Steven Seagal does not refer to his Aikido as Tenshin Aikido. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
The story that I've been told, many years ago is that, his West Hollywood dojo, Tenshin Aikido dojo or Aikido Tenshin dojo West Hollywood, however it was named, the students would refer to that form of Aikido as Tenshin Aikido, and it kind of like, hey, where you going? Well, I'm going to Tenshin Aikido tonight. Oh, okay, cool. I'll check you later, whatever. So they kind of just gave it that name. Well, over the past several years of training with a lot of Seagal's former students and stuff like that, and some of his current students, the name was always brought up as Tenshin Aikido. So it's, he's never fully took on that, and he'll just say, from what I know, it's just Aikido. At the end of the day, it's just Aikido. Well, that's fine. If that's where he wants it, that's fine. Okay, but I'm the one that's been branding the name Tenshin Aikido for the past year and a half on YouTube. And the cool thing about this is, I talked with Josh Gold about it, because Josh Gold is a direct student of Matsuoka Sensei, and if anybody knows who Matsuoka Sensei is, he was a longtime student of Steven Seagal Sensei.
A lot of people watch the old Steven Seagal, I guess even the movies, but on the videos on YouTube, he's like his favorite uke on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a little guy with the long black hair. Yeah,
he was his best uke ever.
Yeah.
Personally, I believe that Steven Seagal would have never been famous without Matsuoka Sensei, because I can tell you right now, some of the other people that I know that were direct students of Seagal could never take the Uriminage breakfall the way Matsuoka Sensei did in Above the Law. That was a jaw-dropping scene.
They used him in the movies.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of those movies with Seagal Sensei, and
he's really taking it though. It's not like a stunt guy or anything.
No, it's him. He's taking it. That's not Hollywood martial arts bullshit, as people like to say. That's why Seagal used his students as stunt guys in the fight scenes, because he didn't have to train the stunt guy how to fall. It's 1 or 2 takes and it's done. Move on to the next part of the movie. Yeah. Think about it. You got a guy that takes Ukemi for you at your dojo, and you're smashing that guy at the dojo per se. You put him in a movie, there's not a lot of direction. It's like, okay, punch the face, boom, I'm doing Riminage. Okay, boom, wham, there it is. How was that? Oh, that was really good. Can we do one more take? Sure, why not? Wow, that was better than the first one. You got to train stunt guys to fall the way how we fall in Tenshin Aikido, and that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And when the actual technique is being applied for real, it's good to know how to take that type of ukemi, because if you don't, your body's not going to like you the next day. You're going to be hurting. You better make sure that Obamacare is still up and running, because you're going to need it. So I took on the Tenshin Aikido brand, so to speak. And I was talking with Josh Gold a couple weeks ago. We talked about it, and he goes, I actually think what you're doing is good. He goes, by branding that Tenshin Aikido, people know what they're getting. They know what to expect. You go to an Aikido dojo, and you're signing up for classes. You walk in there, you don't know if it's, unless it says on the sign, which most signs don't say the type of Aikido. Some do. But you might walk into an Aikido dojo and it says Aiki, it's an Aikikai school, so it's a traditional, classical form. And then another school might be an Iwama style. Another school might be a Yoshinkan style. But it's all, the name will just say Aikido. And then when you get there, you find out that it's this, that, or whatever. With Tenshin Aikido, it's branded. The customer, the student knows exactly what to expect because of the name Tenshin Aikido, and what Lenny Sly has done for Tenshin Aikido, that name, that brand, over the past year and a half. It's worked out pretty good, and a lot of people are, I'm getting some really great comments on some of these YouTube videos, and it's blowing me away on the way people are responding and the respect that people are giving me for it. And just like, Miles Kessler, wow, that guy, again, back to him. Wow, that guy invited me to do this, and he's watched the YouTube channel, obviously, and he saw some value in what I'm doing and saw me as being a good choice to bring on his telesummit, I guess. It's good stuff. It's going to continue to go.
It's good to understand the Tenshin Aikido, just kind of use it. You know what you're getting into. I've heard another Tenshin instructor mention, there's no Tenshin Aikido or anything, but the way I look at it is just, obviously it's done differently than traditional Aikido. So you know what you're doing when you go to Aikikai, you go to Tenshin, there's something going to be different. And if you watch stuff on videos or TV, a lot of people come to Aikido because they were watching YouTube videos and they're like, hey, this looks pretty cool. So you know what you're getting. So you're not necessarily against calling it Tenshin Aikido. It's just a way to identify it and know what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. You're putting a brand on it. Yeah. People identify with this. They know exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know. And that's great. Because then they, like I said, I love Aikido. I watch all different types of Aikido videos on YouTube. I'm a big fan, huge fan of Christian Tessier. I love what he does. I think what he does is great. It's not my cup of tea. It used to be.
Yeah.
But it's not not my cup of tea on what I want to train and what I want to teach, but I love watching his stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to watch all that flowy stuff, and the technique he's got is pretty awesome just to watch how he does it. But Tenshin, give us a little bit just what separates Tenshin Aikido. Like we've all seen that shortened Irimi Nage technique done by Steven Seagal and others, and by yourself on your videos and stuff. What are some of the main differences in the style and how it's done, and why they do it that way?
Okay, well, how much time do we have for this interview?
I can cut you off anytime.
Yeah, no, don't cut me off. The difference is from what I've seen and from what I've been taught and what I've been teaching for years. The main differences are hand deflections, the taste of Aki.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You don't see that in other dojos.
You don't see that in other dojos.
Explain what those are to the people that haven't seen them. I mean, you do them in your videos, but they might not understand what exactly it is.
Okay. Basically, it's an evasion. Okay, by using your hand to deflect an evasion, like from getting punch, grabbed, kicked, or taken to the ground, you're stopping the attacker from making contact with you in a way that they can control you or hurt you. Okay, and they're all based off of sword. Mm-hmm. Aikido is based off of sword as well. So you have like the Ukenagashi, that is a sword deflection. Seagal Sensei pretty much developed a way on how he could emulate the sword deflection by using his hand to do Ukenagashi, to receive an attack, take that person's balance, redirect that energy, neutralize them with a throw, a pin, a joint lock, whatever have you.
It works pretty damn well too.
It works very well. In a lot of situations, works very well. In other situations, you'll have to maybe opt for like a Suriage type movement, which is a different sword deflection movement. It's there's several that are involved within the system that work very well with Yoko Minucci attacks, Shomanuchi attacks, Kauski punch to the face, Katate Dori, Kosadori, wrist grabbing techniques and whatnot, kick defenses as well. We have a technique called Noroskiage, and some people will call it Kokyunage, but our terminology is Noroskiage, and that is basically a stiff arm to the neck, as clear as I can put it. As they say, wherever the head goes, the body goes, So you take that neck and you basically take center and you throw that person as they're coming at you. You're going to stiff arm them, and it's going to stop them dead in their tracks. And they're going to move, and they're going to fall flat on their back. It's a pretty powerful technique.
That's like that old stereotypical football player coming at you with his arm out. Yeah.
Our footwork is a little bit different. It's more condensed. It's shorter. It's straight to the point, pretty much. We do have circular movement, obviously, with Tenkan and whatnot. Yeah. That's all blended in with the technique, but everything is tight.
It's tight, yeah. It's short, isn't it?
It's more condensed. It's straight to the point. It's not projecting people out in the way. It's projecting them straight down to the ground. And there's a lot of emphasis and follow through and power, especially the way how I teach it. And I'm not talking muscular power. I'm talking about full body internal power. And that's like the key energy thing, which is a whole nother discussion, and that's very hard to even talk about because it's just unique in itself. But if you have good key extension and you can apply this type of Aikido with that, you're gonna be a Mack truck. The Irimi Nage is the staple technique of Tenshin Aikido and Steven Seagal. It's well known. The Ukemi aspect of it is very impressive, as Matsuoka has demonstrated in the beginning Above the Law. I have several students that can do it very well. I have one particular student. His name is Rod. I've been doing a lot of videos with him lately. His Ukemi has just skyrocketed. And and the thing is, I've only been teaching Aikido again for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if too many people know that. For the last 10 years, I've been teaching combative concepts. Over the last 2 months is when I started teaching Aikido formally.
That's good.
At the dojo.
Yeah.
So Rod trains in Aikido at another school, started training with me with combative concepts, and I started teaching him how to improve his Ukemi.
Yeah.
Well, it got to the point where he started getting really good, and then I started using him in YouTube videos, and now I'm using him as an uke in my class. He's a 6Q.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's a 6Q. That's it. This guy's Ukemi it's getting freaking amazing.
Yeah.
He's a 6Q. And when you watch him, it's he almost looks like a miniature version of Matsuoka Sensei. I mean, he's a slingshot when he's taking a Riminage breakfall. I mean, the guy is 145 pounds or 135 pounds. He's Filipino. He's tough as nails. I mean, he's 40 years old. You'd never tell by looking at him that he's going to be 40. He just told me that today he's going to be 40. I'm like, dude, I thought you were like 33. He goes, no, I'm just 40.
No, that's good. That Ukemi, you talked about it. We were talking about Tenshin Aikido. The Ukemi is a little bit different. A lot of times, a lot of break falls, straight to the ground, that sort of thing. Can you explain just briefly the Iriminage Ukemi for that? I mean, it looks like you're just slamming the guy on the ground, but he's able to take it, able to do that over and over again. How's he do that?
Well, that's a good question. The way how I teach it is, believe it or not, I teach it in the beginning stages so people can understand this. With another, I have another person. We hold a drum straight out, and you basically practice how to do the limbo.
Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah, you have that actually, both on your
classes.
On your YouTube channel, or is it just on the classes now?
It's actually on both.
That one is on both. Yeah, okay.
It's on both. We teach people how to do the limbo because a lot of times when you're doing the limbo, you have to look straight back to go underneath the stick.
Yeah.
And that's how you absorb the Ukemi, because the Iriminage comes across the neck and behind, like how most Iriminages do. Mm-hmm. Some people, put it across the face. They apply it across the face. We basically take the neck. And so you start to learn how to do that. And once, you're pretty much doing a back bend over, almost like not a back flip, but you bend over backwards. And then once you get to that point where obviously you can no longer move, you kind of like would disengage your spine because you're completely arched at that point, and then you just sit down exactly where you're standing. And you do that repetitiously to the point where it becomes very easy to do and natural.
And then you build up to it.
Stick towards you as you're coming, so it's an unexpected movement. It helps your reaction time, so you're faster, so you're receiving the throw quicker. And then once you have that down, then we start moving you through the actual technique and teaching you how to absorb the actual Iriminage. And you're obviously, as you're pushing them, throwing them with the throwing arm, say with your left arm, you're going across with the Iriminage across the neck. You're taking your right hand and you're pushing it with the, where the koshida is from your hakama, which is your lower back. You're pushing them through as you're throwing them. So you're actually kind of like bending them in half. Mm-hmm. A really good way to describe this, if you take like a beach towel that has sand on it, and you take the length of it, not the width, but the length, and you're on one end, and you know how you'd shake it out like it was like a floor mat? You shake it out so you get that wave type of reaction. That's what you want to emulate. Obviously, if you have the online classes, you'll see how the video's done, and you can get the gist of it from there.
No, that's really cool. We talked about it being Tenshin Aikido is certainly more direct. It's certainly geared towards the self-defense, martial aspect of Aikido. Real shorter technique, straight to the point. The Ukemi's real tight. Everything's tight. Is there anything? Do you guys do like jiu-jitsu or anything? I've never seen people do free practice with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't, like, I have a lot of new students right now, so I've been focusing a lot on basic fundamental skills, obviously the Teisabaki, the Ukemi, rolling.
Yeah, putting it all together, yeah.
Ukemi is very important, and sure. A lot of people get the misconception of what Ukemi really is, okay? Ukemi is for us at the dojo, okay? Aikido people understand this, but most people that don't practice Aikido go, oh, that's bullshit. That guy's taking the fall, blah, blah, blah.
He has to, yeah. You want to keep using
them. This is what I can say to those people, okay? Yeah, he's taking the fall because he wants to get back up and do it again.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop by the dojo. I'll show you a Riminage, and probably after the first time, you're going to go, okay, can you teach me how to take the Ukemi? Because you're going to want to know how to fall to get back up. You know, Ukemi is extremely, extremely important for our training. For Aikido people, for Aikidoka, it's extremely important that the Aikido is heavily practiced, because that allows the Nage to focus on his practice, on how to apply technique. And this is gonna go deep right now. You got me on a roll. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah,
here we go. Aikido, when you're learning techniques, you're learning it in kata form. Just like you would in karate, taekwondo, it's kata. In order to understand the technique, you have to learn it in kata form. Once you perfect that, you can start working on more of power and more of application, to where you can switch from one tech to the next, or kaishi waza, reversal techniques. But the kata form is essential that you understand it, and the basic application of it, and all the basics that go hand in hand to make the technique work. With what we do, if you suck at hand evasions, if you suck at teisabaki, the rest of the technique's not going to matter. Because if you can't stop somebody from punching you, grabbing you, kicking you, taking you to the ground, anything above that or beyond that isn't going to matter, because it's not going to work. It's going to be sloppy. And I've seen this a lot in Aikido, okay, through my years of training, that a lot of people, they work on techniques, but the big thing that everybody wants is, I want to throw the kotegaichi, I want to throw the shionage, I want to throw the koshi nage, the juji nage, the irimi nage.
Yeah.
Everybody's interested in getting right to the throw, but not a lot of people are really studying how to get there. Okay, they're just going through the movement just to get to the application, just to apply that, because that's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Who does not like throwing somebody in a kotegaishi? Everybody loves it. Yeah. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be doing Aikido. You know, these techniques are a lot of fun to practice. It builds a lot of self-confidence. It builds power, things like that. Yeah. But the only way that you are going to be proficient in Aikido is by having somebody that can take Ukemi for you, to where you don't have to worry about their safety per se, whether or not if they're going to be able to take Ukemi or not. If you're following me with this, if you have somebody that does exceptional Ukemi, and you take exceptional Ukemi, your practice and your partner's practice, if you guys practice just you two for 6 months straight, your Aikido is going to go through the roof. Yeah. You're going to be able to experiment.
You can keep training.
You're going to be able to express your own type of Aikido. You're going to be able to build your confidence, build your power, work on your speed, your distance, your balance, your timing. You put all that together, and you're going to be a monster. You're going to be an Aikido monster.
You're talking about building.
Yeah, you're
strong
building the foundation.
Yeah.
And then your technique is going to explode. And I've seen people in the Aikido world, especially at seminars and whatnot, and they might be up there, whatever, Nidan, Sandan, whatever, and they're paired up with somebody that might be a first kyu, second kyu, or even a shodan, and they throw them around on the mat, they beat on them a little bit, whatever. It's just like you got to train down to your partner's rank. If you're a 6th dan and you're working with the shodan, you cannot expect that shodan to train up to your level. It's virtually fucking impossible. There's no way you can do that. You have to train down to that person's level and help them grow.
Yeah.
And I think that's missed a lot in Aikido. And at least I know it was when I was especially doing the Aikikai training, the traditional stuff more. I saw that a lot. I trained with some higher ranking people than what I was at the time, and yeah, they didn't take that into consideration. They just looked at me as I was beneath them, and I'm like, oh, okay, one day, and that day has come, and it's through hard training and being persistent with perfecting your skill and in your craft, so to speak, you grow. Aikido definitely helps people grow. It's definitely a living, breathing martial art, and A lot of people don't think that way, but especially outside of the Aikido world, they think it's a bullshit. Well, I think they're full of shit because they don't know what's going on. They don't understand. Like I said earlier, it's a sophisticated martial art. It's not something that's going to be taught overnight. You're not going to learn it within a couple months. It's dedication. It really is. You have to have a lot of dedication and patience. Yeah. You have to have a lot of patience because it can get very frustrating at times when you're trying to understand footwork and how footwork actually works. And then you're trying to incorporate that using a Teisavaki, a hand evasion movement at the same time. And then you're incorporating Tenkan within the attack, to dissipate the force. And then you're looking at whatever throw is the application. And you're putting it all together and you're creating something very beautiful but very powerful at the same time. Yep. But the Ukemi aspect is extremely important because the Ukemi aspect for us is what allows us to get back up on the mat and do it again. And when you have somebody that has powerful Ukemi that you can't hurt.
Yeah, they can get back up again. You keep practicing. Yeah,
you keep practicing, and then
if they're hurt, you're done.
It's very reciprocating. The other person does the same thing, and that's when you guys can really unload on each other and experiment with power because you don't have to worry about that person's safety because you already know. I mean, obviously, this isn't malicious training. Okay, so let me make that clear right now. It's personal growth, as a lot of Aikido people like to say. It's personal growth with violence in our system where we're throwing violently. Okay, a lot of people say, oh my God, look at the way how he's smashing that guy. People perceive that as being violent, especially if you're not involved in Aikido. And you see the Tenshin Aikido, what I do and what Matsuoka Sensei has done in the past and other people that have been involved in this. Yeah, we're applying this very directly. We're applying this very powerfully and very effectively as well. But when you have somebody that can take Ukemi like that, they're fine. They get up, no problem. Like I said, Rod's a 6Q, my student. Yeah. I can literally do technique at 80% power with this kid. He's 40, this man. And he gets up with a smile on his face like, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
It's pretty amazing when you learn the Ukemi too. And once you do it wrong a few times, you probably get a little sore. But once you land and you feel the energy dissipate, and you might feel something for half a second, but then it's nothing. It's like you didn't do anything.
It is. It's like nothing. But I keep going back and forth with stuff. Just to finish up this part.
Yeah.
The Ukemi, like I said, is for us in the dojo. Okay. And for the way how I teach it, the principles of Aikido are timeless. They really are. They are timeless. I am completely on board with everybody in the Aikido world when it comes to the fundamental skills of Aikido and the principles. They're timeless. It's the way how it's taught right now that I think that needs to change. Mm-hmm. It needs to change in a way to where it's geared back to the self-defense aspect of Aikido. Right. Not so much the spiritual side, not so much about the preservation of Osensei's teachings and the preservation of the art. It needs to go back to the martial side for people in order for people to grow and develop their Aikido more than what it is now. But there's a lot of people out there that just.
A lot of people don't want that though, right? I mean,
they don't. Yeah. And I understand that they don't want that, yeah. But.
But for those that do, you're there. I mean, you're making this available.
Why are you doing it then? It's a martial art. To me, honestly, I'm never going to put myself in a position where where my name is on a list of being another statistic. Mm-hmm. There's way too much fucking violence going on this planet, and it's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's everywhere, and. Why do I want to get caught up in at the wrong place at the wrong time and not have the skills to defend myself if I need to use them? I'm not saying you need to learn how to beat the shit out of somebody, but it's good to know it if you have to use it.
Right. Yeah, no, and I'm sure you encourage your students to build up to that point. It's a skill that you build upon. And it's a self-defense art, and that's the part of it that you're exploring. What do you expect out of your student? What do you expect out of a Shodan? How about that? That's the emphasis for the Q student for a long time. Obviously, they
Yeah.
think of that. So, what do you expect out of
I think a lot of
first
I
degree black
think
belt?
some people maybe misunderstand the rank of Shodan. Shodan, being a first degree black belt, by no means does it mean that you are a master. By no means does it mean that you fully understand the art and what's going on. I'm still exploring. I'm still learning every single day. I still have a student mind, type of mentality with, I'm constantly learning new things within my Aikido and how to apply them and teach them faster than the way how they were taught to me. I mean, it's pretty cool when you discover things like this on your own. It's very cool. But the Shodan basically means that your training is now beginning. It's you went through the probationary period of all the Q ranks, and you've learned the fundamental skills, and you have a good idea of what's going on. You just you're able to perform them at a level of understanding to where now, being a black belt,
You can start learning Aikido.
you can start learning Aikido because now you have the foundation that you need to progress this. I just think that some people think that, oh well, I'm a black belt now in Aikido. I'm a badass. I'm a Shodan. Your Shodan doesn't mean shit. Okay, it doesn't, because there's first degree black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, first degree black belts in Karate that will kick the shit out of 90% of the Shodans in the Aikido world. I hate to say it, but it's true. Especially with the way how Aikido is being taught nowadays. It's not being taught as a martial art in a lot of schools, not every school. And there's people that are going to, here we go again, there's people that are going to get upset with that and say, no, that's not true. We do it this way, we do it that way. Okay, if you do, then go get yourself a camera, go start a YouTube channel, make some videos, and put it up on YouTube. Grow some hair on your nuts and show the world what you're doing. People don't want to do that. They'll comment on my videos, oh, that's wrong, this is wrong, or, okay, show me then. Show me what I'm doing wrong. Show it to me. I will be the first person to say, yeah, dude, that was great. That was great. There's a little bit of a difference here, though. I have a lot of life experience outside of the dojo using this when I was a bouncer. Aikido does not work in the dojo the way how it works in real life.
Right.
This isn't fucking Hollywood. You have to cut down your movement. You have to end it. It needs to be a one and done, and that is it. You have one chance to pull off a kotagaishi if it presents itself. You have one chance to pull off any iminage if it presents itself. Once you do something and it doesn't work, but you're still standing, that person now is going to attack you differently because you already let the cat out of the bag that you have some martial arts skills. They're not going to attack you the same way.
Yeah.
It's already going to send them a red flag. Whoa, this guy has some skill. Let's take this back a little bit. And their strategy is going to change. And, it needs to be that, the dojo training helps you learn to where you can go out and walk the street safely with confidence. It's like, here, look at this analogy, right? You have our United States military, right? Let's take the United States Marine Corps, for example. You go through boot camp, right? You have a DI, a drill instructor. Do you think that drill instructor is going to have you out back planting flowers, cutting the grass, singing Kumbaya with a bunch of other Marines? No, that Marine drill instructor is preparing you for whatever specialized training that you sign up for. And if it's regular infantry type work, or just being a standard soldier with a background in telecommunications or whatever, or being a corpsman, you go to that specialized school, but you're learning these basic fundamental skills because it's the military, because you might be called to go to war. They're teaching you how to get in shape, how to fire weapons, how to do self-defense, because you might have to use that when you get called out and deployed for war. If you look at specialized training like the United States Navy SEALs, arguably the most elite special forces in the world, okay? You go through BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition School in Coronado, California. It's 26 weeks long. That is 6 months. You go through hell and back going through BUDS. What are they doing? They are teaching you to go to war. Navy SEALs do not set up Boy Scout camps in other countries and talk about world peace. They get called in to do a job, and usually a lot of killing is involved, or surveillance, or things of that nature. But Navy SEALs are highly trained special forces, and one Navy SEAL can wipe out tons of people because they are specialized. They have furthered their training, and there's not a lot of people that can become a Navy SEAL. It takes a special individual that can be able to do that, and that is hardcore training. And you got to have that skill to be able to go out and defend yourself. That's what the military does. They teach you those skills because you might go to war. War is violence.
Right, and it's a showdown. If anything, you could compare that to maybe basic training.
Exactly, and you progress your training from there. But you have to, if you want the more self-defense aspect of Aikido, the more street applicable stuff, you have to go out there and search for it because not everybody's going to be willing to teach that. Not everybody is actually at that point where they can teach it. Some instructors, I think, that are in the Aikido world, I think they have I think they have the ability to teach it in a more practical manner, but I think they choose not to because they're just, the preservation of the sensei's teachings is what everybody wants. They're preserving the sensei's art, and this is where I'm saying, taking Aikido back. It needs to go back to the martial art aspect to where people can they can learn how to defend themselves and defend themselves correctly and with confidence.
Yeah, a lot of people are surprised to hear from the outside that there's no sparring in Aikido. In Tenshin, you guys emphasize the the honest attack, and you guys build on that according to the Ukemi. But do you think Aikido could benefit from some type of sparring like that, or you think that's outside the realm of Aikido?
It's a great question because I'm trying to figure out myself how I could start developing more of a sparring aspect within my dojo. Okay, you have the randori, obviously, and the randori essentially is for us.
It's different than everybody else's randori.
For us than it is for anybody else. When you're looking at a Shodan test, the randori is the Shodan test. You're doing all your techniques. The sensei's calling off whatever it may be that he wants you to demonstrate. But at the end of the day, the randori is the test. The randori teaches you how much you really don't know.
Yeah,
and it's brutal.
They're not coming at you with their arms to grab your shoulders.
They're looking to take you down.
Yeah, you punching, kicking, whatever.
Everything. It's everything goes.
This is the Tenshin randori. Yeah.
It's very difficult to do. It's very you definitely don't walk off the mat with a puffed up chest like, I just showed them. No, you didn't show shit. Because I guarantee you your gi is going to be practically half off. If it's brutal.
You might have a bloody nose. You might have a broken nose.
Exactly.
Right?
There's a good chance you're going to have a bloody nose, or you're going to have, or you're going to get hit in the mouth and your lip is bleeding. And I mean, I've seen some pretty I wouldn't say severe injuries, but I've seen some injuries where it's like, oh shit, that's, and usually it's nothing's major serious. I've seen a couple broken, dislocated toes in my life because, of things like that, with getting caught in the hakama, and I've seen people getting punched in the face, and I've seen lips split open, and it's that's just what it is,
this isn't your typical Shodan test. I mean, you're doing Suwariwaza Ikkyo 50 times, and then just move into the next technique, and then they run at you, taking turns, and you kind of get tossed like that. You're on one end, and there's 3 guys on the other side. I think 3 guys, and they run at you full force with every intent to take you down. Anything goes, and you have to. How long do people last? What's the average?
If you're standing for 10 to 15 seconds, you're doing good.
yeah, that's pretty much what I got. 8 seconds
on the ground between five 5 seconds and 7 seconds.
8 seconds. And those hand deflections, they might buy you some seconds. That's something other places.
Yes, if you're proficient in your Teisabaki movement, that definitely helps. That's why we emphasize that, very much so in our training, because that all leads to the randori and the shodan. Everything, the culmination of all your training is the randori. Yeah, you're not going to pull off
perfect technique
or a shihonage in a full out randori. There's no way you're going to do that. A kokyu nage, a norosuke, sumiyotoshi, those things, yeah, you can pull those off.
Those quickies. Those
are fast, effective techniques. And, for that style of randori, those techniques will work, with that style of randori. The randori it's an eye-opener. But the cool thing about it is once you go through it, you felt like you went through like this trial by fire. And if, you survive that, you don't ever give up. Yeah. You don't ever quit on the mat. That's the cardinal no. You don't ever quit.
That's the thing too. When you get, if you pass, you get your shodan. You feel like you earned it. Do you think other places do that, or do they just kind of?
What do you mean?
Do they? Do you think they earned it? Other dojos, when they get their black belt, the quality of what you expect out of your students is different, isn't it?
Yes, you know what? Everybody's interpretation of "I feel that I earned it" is different.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'll tell you what. If you took somebody that had a shodan, say through just the Aikikai, and you put them through one of our tests,
yeah,
I guarantee you they wouldn't walk off the mat happy.
Yeah, well, that's good that you're trying to emphasize the name, the Tenshin. You know what you're getting into, right?
You need to do that because it's like
they
I don't want to sandbag anybody, and it's good that people know this is a harder style. It's geared more towards the applications of not being punch, grab, kick, taking the ground. When you look at the traditional side, how do you stop a Shomanuchi attack? Let's face this. Okay, let's get real for a second here. Shomanuchi, okay, the biggest bullshit attack in Aikido.
Up to the head right there.
It's bullshit. Let's call it as we see it right now. Okay, people are going to get butthurt when they hear this. Shomanuchi attack is bullshit. Nobody on the street is going to attack you with an open hand judo chop to the top of your fucking head.
Yeah, I can see the Yokomen being
the Yokomen.
That's different.
If there's a bottle in your hand,
or bad or something.
It's never going to happen. Yeah. People punch to the face. They don't throw knife hand strikes to the top of the head. But that is about preserving O Sensei's art. The principles, like I said, are timeless.
Yeah.
Do we train with Shomanuchi attacks? Rarely. Most of our attacks are punches to the face and grabbing. And when people say, "Well, grabbing the wrist, that's not practical." Yeah, you got if you put yourself in the scenario of being in a bar situation, you don't have a lot of room to move, and you feel like you're going to be in the midst of a confrontation with another patron for whatever reason, you could be grabbed by one of his friends. There's not a lot of room in bars, especially when they're packed.
Or women get grabbed.
You attack to somebody's head in a bar. A grab is going to happen with a punch following, things like that. I've lived that life for a long time. I've seen it countless numbers of times. It's very, very possible that happens because I've seen it and it's still happening and I'm no longer in that business. But I get it. Those attacks, I get it. But see, those attacks are great for training because it helps you with body mechanics. It helps you with body movement, helps with your footwork. It helps with a lot of things. It helps with your center, proper posture, how to perform tenkan. A lot of people slouch, they bend over, get better position, get proper posture, be more strong with your attack and your defense and whatnot. This can go on for hours talking about this. The training needs to evolve.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things you talk about. The training needs to change for those interested in the martial aspect of it, defending themselves. Tenshin Aikido can offer a whole new world to people that have been training in other traditional styles. If that's what they want, then I encourage people to check that out. Now, recently, Ikazuchi Dojo put out a video by Roy Dean to get the attention of Joe Rogan. I mean, you've seen the video, you've talked about it. Your thoughts on it, and then tell me what Lenny Sly thinks Aikido will be in another 10 years. The topic of the video is the future of Aikido. So your reaction to Roy Dean's original video, and then where you think Aikido's going here.
I think it was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I think it was absolutely fantastic. It was right after that video was posted. I think the next day I actually spoke with Josh Gold, and I spoke with him for an hour and a half or so, and we had a great conversation with that. And like I mentioned earlier in the interview, I spoke with Roy Dean on last Sunday, which was Easter Sunday. I spoke to him for 2 hours. And that topic, came up, and we talked about that, the whole thing with Joe Rogan. And I don't hate Joe Rogan. Yeah, I actually like Joe Rogan, and I like his podcast, and I have respect for him as a martial artist, especially black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and
Taekwondo too, I think.
Taekwondo as well.
And two black belts. Yeah,
what's that?
And 2 black belts. I think he has one in gi and no gi, so separate black belts there.
Yeah, for Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal entertainer. His stand-up comedy is hilarious.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, Netflix. I think it's great. I've watched his. I believe there's 2 of them on there, and I've watched both of them several times. He's funny. Yeah. I mean, the guy's funny. I like his stuff. He's talented when it comes to that, and
he's smart. Yeah.
His podcast with that guy, that neuroscientist.
Aikido guy.
Yeah, he's personally, the guy's full of shit. He was easy prey. The guy didn't stand a chance against what Joe Rogan was saying, and just watching his reaction, and
Yeah, I know. Plus, you're the psychological part of it. You're on the Joe Rogan experience, and you're kind of pressured to say something.
Yeah, well, he didn't do us any justice. He didn't do the Aikido world any justice. If anything, he hurt us more than he helped us, because it just pretty much confirmed what Joe Rogan was saying about how Aikido's bullshit. He's like, there's a lot of fuckery going on around here, and I think they got you, man.
Yeah, well, Boz talks about that too on the show too. Yeah.
And he just, I've used Aikido before, and Joe's like, really, where? Well, in the bars. I'm like, really? When I saw that, I'm really good at reading people, facial expressions and things like that. And I saw that, and I'm like,
you called bullshit on that one.
Bullshit. What bar was that? Yeah. Who's going to grab you in a bar? First off, you do not appear to look very threatening whatsoever. Personally, I think that guy'd be afraid of his own fart. The guy, he's just, someone can say boo, and this guy's going to run into a wall. That somebody grabbing him in a bar, okay, no. Maybe your girlfriend grabbed you because it was time to leave.
He's not a Tenshin guy, huh? You don't think?
Not an Aikido. Personally, he's
the casual hobbyist.
Okay, he wasn't, in my opinion, I don't think he was a serious guy that practiced Aikido on a serious level, because, how do you not know Sensei's name, Morihei Ueshiba? How do you not know Morihei Ueshiba? How many people know that Morihei Ueshiba was born December 14th, 1883, died April 26th, 1969, at the age of 86 years old?
Aikido people.
Aikido people should know that. This guy did not know that. Oh, I forgot his name. We just call him O Sensei. Oh, okay, thank you. Get this ass hat off your show as soon as possible, because if he says anything else about Aikido, Joe Rogan's just going to keep on going on bashing us. No, yeah, Roy Dean wants to have a very nice conversation with Joe Rogan, and I completely support him on it 110%. And
I'd love to see that. Should start a hashtag, book Roy Dean or something like that.
Yeah,
book Lenny Sly.
I think it could be. We talked about that, and I have some different views on how I would approach that. My approach would be more along the lines of, okay, Joe, and this is just. I'm not saying that I would actually follow through with this. This is just Hey,
I know what you're gonna say.
it's like, hey, you think this is bullshit? Okay, here, just, I'm not out to hurt you. I want to show you how this stuff would work effectively. Do you understand this? No, you don't. Have you practiced Aikido before? No, I haven't. I haven't practiced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've never stepped on a mat. I've rolled around with people, but I've never taken a formal class where I've sought out the training to get rank and become proficient in this art. I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time with my schedule and my outside of dojo life with my family, my wife and my daughter and whatnot, and to be able to go and pursue that. I would love to be able to go and pursue that if I had more time. I just don't. But, Joe, it's like, you haven't studied Aikido. You don't know what this is really all about. You're basing your opinion off of watching YouTube videos. But if you really haven't felt it, you don't see me bashing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu saying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is bullshit. There's a lot of fuckery going on with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think they got to you. You don't see Aikido people talking that way.
No.
You don't. You want to stir up the pot and cause controversy. That's great, Joe. Okay. Well, I have no problem sitting down with him. I have no problem standing up with him either and showing him how some of this stuff works. It's effective. But again,
let's get the exhibition match going.
Yeah, see, but again, that's where people are going to take this the wrong way. And there's no competition in Aikido. This isn't meant for sport. It's the martial arts side of Aikido is for self-defense. It's not about going against somebody else that has martial arts skill. It's not whose martial art balls are bigger than the other guy's martial art balls. Personally, I don't really care. Yeah. I don't care. The people that I train, the Aikido world that I produce videos for and spread throughout the world through my YouTube channel is to help their personal development and their technique grow to where if they ever have to use this in a self-defense real life scenario, they're going to be prepared to be able to do that. They're going to have those skills necessary to be able to do that. I can care less if an Aikido guy ever jumps in the UFC ring. Personally, I really don't care. Yeah. It's not why I do this.
Right.
And some of the Aikido people in the world, they need a wake-up call, and this is the wake-up call. And it's like, the last thing I want to see is something happen to one of my brothers or sisters in my Aikido family. I'm the asshole cousin of the Aikido world. Okay, that's what I am. I'm the Aikido asshole. I'm the guy that's going to step outside of the box and speak my piece. And if you don't like it, well, hey, too bad.
Your Uncle Lenny.
But I'm out here to help you. Like I said, I love Aikido. You love Aikido. The difference is I love Aikido more than you do because I'm actually doing something about it to help the Aikido community.
Yeah. So going on that, where do you see it in 10, 20 years?
I hope I'm still around in 10 or 20 years to see where it's going. Like I said, I'm 46 years old.
Roy Dean said it's dying.
Yeah, it is. It's been dying. It's been dying a very slow death, actually. It's like a painful cancer. It's just kill us already, please. It's taking forever. It's dragging on and dragging on, and the Aikido senseis that are out there that are teaching this stuff are they're the ones that need to. They need to. I'm doing something about it. What Miles Kessler is doing. I mean, it's awesome what he's doing in the fact that he's invited me to speak my piece about this and have a discussion and whatnot. It's great. It's really up to the Aikido. I can't change the world. Okay, no, I can change the world if somebody put me in a movie.
Yeah, you're talking about being widely recognized, like a movie star or something like that, who can be a proponent of Aikido like Steven Seagal did back in the day.
Yeah, but the one thing that Steven Seagal did is Steven Seagal dropped the ball because he became rich and famous and became very selfish, in my opinion.
Well, that's the criticism, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the truth, though. Look at him. It's the truth. You see any of his students in his movies, his straight-to-DVD movies today. Do you see any of the students in there? No, you don't. That's why the fight scenes suck. Okay, he's supposed to be an action star. Yeah, he was once an action star. He's done. He just needs to give it up, honestly, because it's very painful watching some of these more recent movies that he's done and stuff like that. It's like, dude, get a personal trainer, lose 60 pounds, get back into shape. Okay, go do a 12-step program, have an intervention.
Yeah, you mentioned before.
Do something.
You mentioned before you compared him to, I think it was a talk we were having, Robert Downey Jr., what he did.
Yeah,
he came back. He came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's completely changed his life around, and it's not that I don't like Steven Seagal. Okay, I don't like where Steven Seagal has taken his life. Aikido made him what he is today, whether he wants to remember that or believe it or not. If it wasn't for Matsuoka Sensei, okay, Matsuoka Sensei hands down made Steven Seagal famous.
Okay,
think about it. If it wasn't for his Ukemi and above the law, if it wasn't for him being Seagal's Uke in all of his movies, where would he be?
I mean, that roped you in, didn't it? That opening scene.
It roped in a lot of people.
Yeah.
It roped in a lot of people. And unfortunately, we all got roped in, and the ones that stayed in the Aikido, the Aikikai style of Aikido kind of fell into the love, peace, and harmony and that stuff, and the self-development, self-improvement, and that stuff is great. I get it. It's great. But the people that got roped in who want to do that Aikido, because that is what I got into Aikido for, was I saw that. I was like, that is freaking powerful. Yeah. Wow. I want to learn how to do that. And 20 years later, or whatever, it's longer than that, because I was 18 years old when that movie came out. Taking me a while to get to where I'm at, but I'm here.
Yeah, a lot of people see, from the outside, they don't see that. They might click a YouTube video and see, I think Anthony Paul talked about people dancing around. So they kind of judge it from that, and this might be the last impression they have, or they'll hear a Joe Rogan experience, and they'll see a guy talking about Aikido not very well. So,
isn't it kind of like...
It's a huge range.
It's hard to swallow that sometimes, it really is, when you're so passionate about what you do and you love what you do, and I'm all about the growth of Aikido. For anybody, that whatever style it is, I'm all about that. My Aikido videos are not specifically for the people that want to follow Tenshin Aikido. They're for everybody. They are for everyone in the world to benefit from. Yeah. I want to help everybody. You know what? It's everybody has a bucket list, and part of, one thing on my bucket list is I want to be able to save somebody's life one day. Okay? I want to be able to help somebody to where I want to be able to save somebody's life one day, even if it costs me my own.
Right. It's different than kicking a jerk out of a bar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. And I had my fair share of that. I did that, like I said, a long time. That shit gets old really quick. You can't reason with people that they're intoxicated. That you can't reason with them.
So one day your training could culminate in one moment. All those years.
Yeah. And I just really want the best for Aikido people. I want people to, if we were able to blend all of these things together, including the practical aspects of Aikido, and everybody trained that way, how powerful Aikido would be. It's powerful now, but how much more powerful it would be. And if people weren't stuck to, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way, because, Miles, that hierarchy of people telling you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Freedom of expression. Make your Aikido your own. Develop your Aikido. Personally, if somebody's trying to hold me back from developing my Aikido, I don't need to be with that person anymore. And that happened with my former teacher.
Really?
And I walked away. And, he used to stand on a soapbox and, not realistically, but, the whole stand on a soapbox and preach to how this needs to be done this way, this needs to be done that way. Everybody is going to do it this way. You take a showdown test, everyone takes a showdown test. Everyone takes, the need-on test, the standard. Everyone does it. Then what does he do? He goes and passes somebody for need-on without even taking a test after he's preaching this shit to us. And it's just like, what? Wait a minute. How is he any different? Oh, well, he's a police officer. He's a sergeant. He's a SWAT team commander. So his test is every day on the job. Oh, really? No shit. Okay. Peace out, man.
Yeah.
I sat there and followed you and trained under you, and your lessons were fantastic. But you completely went against what your standard was. He said it didn't matter what you did. Everybody takes the test. And the second myself and a couple other people saw that he was full of shit, I don't need to be a part of that. Wow. And I took 10 years off. I developed combative concepts. I took 10 years off from doing Aikido. And I've discovered more about my Aikido in the past 10 years. I learned more on my own, through my own Aikido, than I ever learned from him and any other Aikido instructor that I ever trained under. Every one of them gave me something very, very useful that I've developed way beyond what they would have ever developed me to become, because they would hold you back. The last guy particularly never wanted it, and this is my opinion, because if he wanted it, we'd all still be there. He never wanted any of us to be better than him. He never wanted any of us to grow to the point where we would be better than him.
And you want your students to grow.
I want my students, are you kidding me? I want my students to be better than me yesterday.
You've talked about that,
Yeah, I'm not looking to, I don't want to teach somebody and say, I don't want you good 6 months from now. I want you good yesterday. 2 weeks ago. It's a process. It takes some time, but I want, I want what they want, because my students want to be great now, and it shows. They work their ass off in class. I want what they want. I want them to be great. Yeah, they want to be great.
Yeah, and Lenny, I think there's a lot of people out there. They see what you're doing. They see the message you're sending out, and it really, it really resonates with the stuff they're thinking, but maybe they never expressed it in some way. I see a lot of comments like, Lenny's saying everything I've been thinking for the past several years, And from what I can tell, you don't fit into those categories of the Aikido people. And what I mean by that is, like Roy said, white collar, and I added in our conversation before, they tend to be, liberal, pacifist, stuff like that. As far as I can tell, you don't fit into any of those categories. So do you think you are attracting more people that just kind of feel the same way? They don't necessarily fit into the typical Aikido type person? Or do you think this is a whole new breed of Aikidoka that you're creating?
I think both.
Yeah?
I think both, because I think the people out there, I think there's a lot of people out there that are tired of what they're doing, and they want to be able to take their Aikido to the next level. Yeah. That's why people reach out and they see somebody like myself, and I get a lot of recognition for what I'm doing, but I'm not doing this for recognition. I'm doing this because I want to help. I want people to grow. The stuff that I teach, this is my Aikido. Okay, it's what I've learned from Seagal Sensei's people. I call it Tenshin Aikido. This is my brand. It's not Seagal's brand. Okay, his students made up that name. Steven Seagal has already clearly said that it's not Tenshin Aikido. Good, then it's my Aikido. Then Tenshin Aikido is my Aikido. It's my brand. Okay, and the funny thing is, my current sensei that I'm still directly under agrees. He agrees. He's like, keep doing what you're doing. He goes, dude, you are turning heads. People are looking at you. Keep doing what you're doing. He loves what I'm doing. He thinks it's great. I'm incorporating things that you don't see in most dojos. We're incorporating strikes and things like that. Yeah, we're starting off at a very slow pace.
I think a lot of people are paying attention now, And if you stopped a year ago, you wouldn't be seen by high-ranking people in Israel or wherever they are around the world. Well, who knows?
Not,
But it seems like something's
and-
happening right now. And I want to talk about you. People want to train with you, they can't. But for geographic reasons, they live somewhere in the country, obviously, where you don't train. So you created these online classes and they're offered at roguewarriorstraining.com. If you're listening and you watch Lenny's videos on YouTube and want to go deeper, or you want to have a starting point. I mean, they see you doing these techniques, but there's that foundation you talked about. I recommend people subscribe to your online classes. I mean, and there is a treasure trove of detailed instruction that people can find on there that won't be on YouTube. Talk to me a bit about these online classes. Introduce us to this program at roguewarriorstraining.com.
Okay, well, I started this program June. I launched it June 13th of last year, and there's other people that have Aikido online classes, and when I started it, my goal was to have just a tremendous amount of footage, a tremendous amount of training videos on there from the date of launch. I wanted to saturate it to the point where, you subscribe to this. It's like $15-20 a month. And you have access to everything that's on there. So instead of starting a program that had, say, 8 videos to start with, and it's a new program. So we have 8 videos to start, and each month we're going to add 4 to 6 more. And the month after that, it's going to be a building process where we're going to add new stuff every month. And it's going to be a variety of things from, kumitachi, sword kata, and fundamental basics and whatnot. That was the whole plan. But what I did was, when I launched it, it had 33 videos on it from the date of launch.
And that was then.
What's that?
That was then. You log on now with a subscription. I mean, there's hundreds of videos. How many are on there?
There's over. I don't know the exact count because I've lost track. But there's well over 100 videos on the Tenshin Aikido platform, and it covers a lot of stuff. I mean, the basics in itself. There's detailed step-by-step instruction on all of the hand deflections.
And we're talking about the starting point for the student who sees your stuff, but has never done martial arts. He can log in, he can subscribe, and he can. I mean, there's a video on how to tie your belt. That's how basic we're talking here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a video on how to get on and off the mat.
Yeah.
So if you're that guy that's that online student that doesn't train at a traditional or doesn't train at a dojo, traditional dojo, whatever it is, and you have a buddy that you're training with, you two could virtually learn the basic foundation of what I am teaching.
Yeah, and at your dojo, most dojos you're paying $100-something a month, but you're offering all this right now. I mean, it's like what, $12, $15 a month, something like that.
$15-20 a month.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is you just continue your training, and I mean, I teach like how we attack, not the big Ukemi from the field type strikes. And,
those are all separate videos,
we show separate videos on how to properly attack, you need to have this proper foundation of attack to learn the kata, in order to understand it. That's key. You need to have that. And I provide that. And I go over all the Ukemi, so you have a really good understanding of the Ukemi aspect and what's very important. And we do a lot of techniques, and we add stuff every month. There was a couple months, and for all the guys that are watching this, that are viewing this, that if you are an online subscriber, I apologize. I kind of fell behind within a month and a half of putting up videos when they're supposed to be put up. I got tied up with a lot of stuff. This is not something that's very easy to do, especially maintaining it. Where some people start programs and you have 30 videos and that's it. Here it is.
Yeah, but you've got a lot to go through. You got a lot of material. If you're behind on a video, there's still these are things you should probably watch over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Just like in class, you drill everything over and over.
you drill everything over. You can never do your basics enough. You can never perfect your basics. And you mean, yeah, you can become really good at your basics, okay, but you can always be better. You can always work on your timing, how fast you can move your hands with deflections, with the evasions, and
Yeah.
you can always improve on Ukemi. You should never be satisfied with where you're at in your training. You should always strive to better yourself and to grow and become it should be endless.
Yeah, I mean, and you have everything on there, just like in a class. They can watch your lesson and then practice at home. They can get a partner that's willing to learn this with them, whether it's someone in the family or whatever. The Gracies, a part of the family, they did something. They do something like this, and they have people set up these garages all over the country. I mean, I'd love to see Rogue Warrior garages everywhere, all over people training Lenny Sly Aikido. Like I said, you've got how to tie a belt, how to get on and off the mat. If they were ever to go to a dojo, it's a little different. People may not be used to the formalities and stuff, so you introduce them to that, and then you ease them into techniques, ukemi, strikes, all that stuff, so people can get a complete understanding of it, at least what they can from home, and they could learn a lot from home just drilling this stuff over and over again, and you have that all available. Yeah.
Since we're on this topic, and all these people are probably going, wow, he knows a lot about Lenny Sly's online classes. Why don't you tell people what you think of the online classes, because you have them?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason I can talk about it. I mean, like, you've got it all there from the beginning. So a lot of times you see this stuff, you see fancy moves and stuff on there, but there's that foundation you talked about, and so you have all that down. I know how to tie a belt. I know how to do it. I've been doing Aikido for a couple of years, but there's all these little subtleties in the techniques that you break down so people can understand it and see how you do it. Like the Lenny Sly Aikido you're talking about. This is your style, Tenshin. The Ukemi, that's an interest for me at my dojo. They don't teach break falls or even high falls. But this is something that I have access to, and I've been practicing for a while now. So now I could see your videos and specifically how you do it, and that's been helpful too. And the techniques and everything. It's really amazing. You can go through it. You go to the website normally, there's this big long list of categories. And then I wasn't sure what they were, but then I was clicking on nothing would happen. But when you subscribe, every one of those categories turns into dozens of videos that aren't available on your YouTube channel. How many are on there that you think that have never seen your YouTube channel?
Wait, say that one more time, please.
How many videos do you think are on there that have never been on your YouTube channel?
That have never been on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, or that aren't now.
The online classes?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably about eight. There's 8 YouTube videos that are actually on my online classes.
And all the rest, those have not been released. So this is stuff people aren't getting to see if you're just a subscriber to the Rogue Warriors channel, which is all great stuff. But if you want to get that foundation, the basics, or go over stuff, I mean, you got to subscribe. $12 a month. Come on. I mean, you're paying $100 something at the dojo. You're probably not near Lenny Sly anywhere in the country, but they can do this from home, and it's almost nothing.
The other thing too is that we're doing.
You do the combative concept stuff on there too, so they're not just getting the Tenshin Aikido stuff. You have that on there. You have even firearm stuff.
Yeah, that's in the combative concepts as well. I'm still working on adding more stuff with that. With the combative concept stuff. The other thing too is Dana Dixon, my business partner with the dojo. She has been building a brand new website for the past 2 months by herself. Everything. She has created everything with the website. We're launching the website. I believe it's May 1st. That's the target date. And all of the online classes are being transferred over to this website. This website, Edgar, is freaking beautiful. What she has done to this website has exceeded my expectations beyond belief. I'm just floored at how awesome she has created this. It is the website that we have now. It's we built that. It was a WordPress website. It was a blog website. I had a friend that was showing us how to do it, and it was something that we needed to start with. And we got to a point where, quite frankly, that website's a piece of shit. Unfortunately, that's what we have to work with right now. Dana and I talked about this about 2.5, 3 months ago, that we needed a better website, and she did all the research, and she found a program that she was able to purchase and develop the website completely how she wanted to do it. And she gave me access to it. She was holding off from showing it to me because she wanted to make sure that it was perfect. And when she gave me access to it, I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. You did this? And she's like, yes. I'm like, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. When do we get to see that?
We're targeting May 1st is when it's going to launch. We're hoping, nothing ever goes as planned, but we're really hoping that it's going to be up and running May 1st. So the domain name is automatically going to get switched over. So one day you might have the website that you have right now, and the next day, boom, there it is. I'll be doing a YouTube video on it, so everybody will know that tomorrow. Like, for example, I'll be like, hey, YouTube, Lenny Sly, roadwarriortraining.com. Welcome to another video. This video is going to be an information video for all you guys out there that are online subscribers and all you guys that want to look at our website or whatever. We have a brand new website. We're launching it tomorrow, and then they'll know.
And for those that are subscribed now or that hear this before May 1st, 2017, or whenever it comes out, they can log on now to roguewarriorstraining.com. They can subscribe, just 12 or 15, 20 bucks a month, whatever it is, and the service won't be interrupted, right? Or is
No, you won't even know the difference.
All right.
You won't even know. It's crazy too. It's like, I had a lot of members when I first started, and people dropped off, and that's fine. It happens. That's what happens with online classes. Nobody stays forever. That is great that we still have a lot of people that are involved with the online classes. I'm not really a salesperson, okay? But the amount of information you get from this, I should be charging $100 a month for this.
Yeah, you could train this stuff for years over and over again. You go through these videos one by one, and you can master each one, I guess. You can make it a mission if you have the time for that. If you're a serious student, if they like your stuff, this is the way to go, right? You don't have access to his dojo, log on and see the classes on his online classes.
Exactly. We created an independent organization called the Tenshin Aikido Alliance. That's going to be launched officially the same day that we launch the website. So if there's dojos out there that, that are independent, that want to be a part of this, join the alliance, be a part of our group. You'll get discounts and stuff like that on online classes and whatnot. There's Q testing that'll be available. This is, we're doing a lot of stuff. I'm an independent Aikido guy. That's what I am. And, I can understand the lineage to Humbu Dojo. I can understand the lineage to O-Sensei and whatnot. But it's, I'd rather go along this route. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people out there that don't care, I guess, about the lineage. I did at one point. Is it necessary?
Yeah, people do. Yeah.
To an extent. But there are some people that don't care about that. They just want the training.
Yeah, you should do a history video someday. I don't know if you're into that, but that'd be interesting for people too.
That would be interesting because that's a pretty big topic. I can give you this. I'll give you a little teaser about this. I am going to be doing a video soon. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to start filming it, but the title is going to be The Good, the Bad, and What the Fuck Was That? Aikido Ukemi.
Yeah, I've heard of this video coming out.
Yeah, that's going to be one of these controversial videos, and yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot about Ukemi and because there's been some stuff. I've seen some Aikido senseis out there that do this touchless Aikido stuff, and it's just like,
yeah,
Aikido doesn't work until you actually make physical contact with somebody. If you're going to sit there and bob your head back and forth, and especially this bald guy I've seen on YouTube,
that's what gets out there.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell was that? It's you can't make anybody take Ukemi. You cannot neutralize anyone until you actually make physical contact by touching them. But the Ukemi aspect, there's some really wide Ukemi, especially with break falls and whatnot. And I'm going to be touching on that. And I'm sure that's gonna cause a rift in the Aikido community. But like I said, it's all about it's about helping the Aikido community. There's purpose. There is reason why we take the Ukemi that we take, and it's Ukemi is to save yourself from receiving serious injury. And quite frankly, when you're projecting somebody out on Shihonage, you're more likely going to get hurt than just throwing them straight down to the ground and then take a break fall off of it. There's more potential for injury with that, especially if you get somebody that's, you're training with someone and your partner maybe inadvertently is giving you a hard time. Maybe they're not really flexible, and you think that they're resisting, because I've seen that, and people tend to put a little bit more power into the technique, and people get hurt when they're not expecting that type of throw to be executed the way that it did. So it's taking the shorter, more tight, compact Ukemi is, in my opinion, the way to go. I mean, obviously, Josh Gold does it. It's there's a lot of people that Matsuoka Sensei. I mean, you look at Matsuoka Sensei. I mean, that guy is the heavyweight champion of ukes. I mean, nobody can top that guy. I mean, from the stuff the Ukemi that he took from Steven Seagal, it's like, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, sometimes you got to look at the things that he's done with Ukemi and say, how are you still standing?
Yeah, you think his size has anything to do with it? Because he's little?
Believe it or not, Matsuoka Sensei is roughly about I think he's like 5'8" or 5'9", and that's what I am. I'm 5'9".
Okay.
He's pretty much the same height as me. It's he started Aikido when he was 17 years old as well, I think, and he started at a very young age, and he's Japanese. You know what I'm saying? And the Japanese culture and their mindset is like they don't question. They just do. It's, why am I doing this? Why do I do this? You just do it. And they understand. Matsuoka Sensei, firsthand experienced how powerful Seagal's Aikido was when Seagal Sensei was in his prime. He was, and I don't know if too many people know about this, but you ever heard of Hiroshi Isoyama?
Maybe. Look up on YouTube Hiroshi as an I, Isoyama Sensei. This guy was Steven Seagal's teacher in Japan. He is a monster. He makes Seagal look like a child with his Aikido. You look at like all the Japan demonstrations, the 97th the Japan Fest demo in Japan that's held at the Budokan every year. Yeah.
You can find YouTube videos dated back to like 1986, 1985 of Isoyama Sensei doing these demonstrations. This guy body slams his uke on the mat. And the funny thing is, it's the same freaking uke every year. Most people say after one or two of those body slams, that's it. Time to find somebody else. No. When you're an uke for a sensei like that, you're loyal, you're dedicated. Matsuoka Sensei was extremely loyal and dedicated to Seagal Sensei after all the years of training, and that's just how it is with the Japanese culture. At least from what I think, it's that's what I see. And Matsuoka Sensei was extremely loyal, and Seagal Sensei still is a student of Isoyama Sensei, and from what I understand, they still have a very close relationship. And Isoyama Sensei, I think, is into his 80s now, I think, and he's still doing these Japan demonstrations, and he's just rocking it. I mean, you could watch 5 or 6 of these other Aikido Shihan do their demonstrations, like, that's really cool. And then when he's up and you see that, you're like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, no, there's lots of compilations on YouTube. This is one real good one of him doing stuff, and he's fun to watch.
He's a beast, but his Aikido is real. Not that everyone else's isn't. His Aikido is severe and to the point. And you see Isoyama Sensei do his Irimi Nage, and you clearly see where Steven Seagal developed his. Clearly see it.
Yeah.
If you can't see that, then you need to get your eyes checked out, because that is pretty much straight in your face. You can, and Seagal Sensei is 6'4". Isoyama Sensei has to be 5'5", 5'6". But you can see where Seagal got his Aikido from when it came to Norosuke, when it came to the Kotagaishi, when it came to Kokyu Nage, like the real Kata Dori Kokyu Nage. When you see the Irimi Nage technique, you clearly see where he got that from. He got it from Isoyama, and he perfected it. Yeah. Seagal Sensei, he's made a huge contribution to the Aikido world. Huge, more than anyone else I've ever seen. He's made a massive contribution to the Aikido world. The problem is he walked away because he became very rich and very famous from being in the entertainment business. And, you know, you should never forget where you came from. You know, it's rich people that were poor that made themselves into self-made millionaires are some of the nicest people in the world. They don't ever forget where they came from. Seagal has lost his way. In my opinion, he's lost his way because he's a movie star, and Hollywood, I guess, does it to you. And that's
yeah, no, that happens. And I've gotten a lot of comments. People say, hey, maybe you're picking up kind of where he left off if they want to get an idea of the roots of where this all came from. I mean, you're continuing it, and people can continue training, not just with you. You have lots of projects going on. If they want to train through your online classes, they can go to roguewarriorstraining.com. I think that's the website. I didn't have anything in front of me, but yeah.
Yeah, it's roguewarriorstraining.com.
Yeah, and so you got lots of projects. I've heard some other ones you told me about. Those sound exciting too. I hope I see more info on those coming out. You've got a seminar coming up. People who aren't near Chicago, they might be able to get a chance to train with you. Where are you going?
I'm going to Aikido, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Anthony Paul has invited me out there to do a 2-day seminar May 20th and 21st. It's a Friday and a Saturday. That is part of the reason why I was telling Miles that I'm not available on the 19th for the Telesummit, because we're driving there. We're not going to fly. We're going to drive. I'm actually bringing several of my senior students to go with because, you know, Tony trains in an Iwama style Aikido.
Yeah.
And as you know from people.
It's a different style, yeah. And you bring your guys to show how they take the Ukemi and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And also to help instruct with the seminar. You know, I mean, I can teach a 25, 30 person seminar, but when you bring your senior students with, it's almost like, you know, you have me, but then you also have 4 or 5 of my instructors, and that group of people are, you know, you're going to leave more fulfilled with, wow, I got hands-on training with, not only with Lenny, but I got hands-on training with his senior guys. Holy shit, you were in Lenny's YouTube video. Oh my God. This is you.
I'm taking Bob.
You know, yeah, Bob and Chris and Frank Imperato. And I mean, I don't know if Rod's coming with, but, you know, Rod might be coming with. Jeff Plumley, who is another one of my senior students. He was the first student that I ever had sign up when I started teaching. He's still with me. He's hoping that he's going to be able to make it out. He works for United Airlines. Maybe that's another reason why my YouTube channel blew up, because of the whole United Airline incident with that passenger. We kind of joke about that. But you know, he's planning on coming out. I mean, Dana's going to be there. Cool. A couple of my other students are going to be there. A good friend of mine, Genghis, is coming in from New York. He's going to be going to the seminar. It's going to be a rocking time. But the only thing is, it's going to be a massive eye opener, because this is a lot different than what those people are used to training in, you know. And
yeah, you're not the only one there. There'll be other instructors from Iwama style, and they're going to learn a whole new thing here.
Yeah, and it's going to, you know, I think it's going to be great, because it's, you know, the seminar is going to be, I'm going to focus a lot on basics, and I'm going to focus a lot on, you know, the Teisabaki, and I'm going to work with some people. I'm going to tighten up, you know, I'm going to look at their Ukemi and say, I'm going to suggest, try it this way. I'm not going to say you need to do it this way. Try it this way. See how it works for you. You know, I'm there to create friendships. I'm there to provide my craft and give it to them, and hopefully they like it and they adopt some of the things that I'm doing and hope spread the word. You know, Tony's a big fan of mine. We're actually really good friends, and you know, as he said in his interview, I helped him with his YouTube channel, and it's doing well. It's going to do even better. It's going to grow.
Yeah, you talk about the Iwama Warriors channel.
Yeah, the Iwama Warriors channel. He puts out a lot of videos. Actually, it's funny thing was, when he first started, he was like putting out one video every other week or whatever. I go, dude, if you want your YouTube channel to grow, you got to put out 2 to 3 videos a week. Mm-hmm. And he's doing it very consistently. He's very good. And some of them actually have some funny, very funny intros in the beginning.
Skits at the beginning. Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, and that's great. He's being creative.
Yeah,
that's great, and I love what he's doing with that. And I'm going to continue to do this. He's going to continue to do this. And whatever he decides to do, I'm going to support it 100%. And I believe he'll do the same thing for me. It's like I've made a great friend with this guy. He reached out to me back in December, and he actually told me, I didn't ever think I had never thought in a million years that you were going to actually respond to my message. Surprise, surprise. I guess
you're not rich and famous yet.
I'll talk to anybody. Look, I mean, we're almost 2 hours deep in this interview.
Yeah, I think we beat the other one already. Yeah.
I will talk to I love talking to people about this, and it's not because I like to hear myself speak.
No, you like Aikido. It's.
I love Aikido.
You do, yeah.
I want everybody to love Aikido.
Yeah,
I'm passionate about this, and you know what? Here's the sad part about it is a lot of people, and I get this a lot of people misunderstand where I'm coming from. Yeah. I'm misunderstood. I get that a lot. And yeah, I might come across like the hashtag Aikido asshole. Okay. It's because I love this.
Yeah, but it gets people's attention too. I mean, it's a marketing thing too.
I'm not a salesperson though. You know what I'm saying? if I could do this for free, I would do this for free. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. But unfortunately, I can't. I have bills to pay at the dojo and things like that. Nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is cheap. And nothing cheap is good, and nothing good is cheap. And it's I like to stay kind of middle ground with that, and just I'm on a mission, man. I really am. I'm on a mission. I think Miles is on a mission. I truly believe what he is doing is absolutely fantastic. And he told me this. He is really looking forward to this, and he is planning on doing this every year. And I could only be so lucky if he invited me back the second year.
Let's see what happens first.
Yeah, let's see what happens first. But I look ahead. I'm not, I like to look ahead of things and prepare. Yeah. I'm very optimistic about what he's doing. I think it's genius what he's doing, to tell you the truth, because he's bringing so many different people together, and we're all from different walks of life in the Aikido world. Everybody does their own thing. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's
good though, because everyone's not going to agree with each other.
Yeah, and we don't need to. We can agree to disagree on a lot of things. I'm sure people are going to point out a lot of things with what I'm saying and say, I don't agree with that. That's fantastic that you don't agree with that. But can we agree on this or agree on that? It's about growth.
That's very cool. It's Aikido at the Leading Edge, being put on by Miles Kessler Sensei. It's going to be May 12th through 21st, I think. If I got the dates right, yeah. And Lenny Sly is going to be in there somewhere. When the schedule comes out, you guys can check it out. I think it should be up on the Integral Dojo. .com. I think that's the name of the website, theintegraldojo.com. Lenny Sly, thank you so much for talking with me. You will be at Aikido at the Leading Edge, like we said. People want to subscribe to your videos. If they haven't already, if they're listening, they probably have. Rogue Warriors channel on YouTube. And be sure to check out and subscribe to the online classes. Those are totally different. You get a whole new thing, whole new experience out of that. So if you subscribe, just $15-20 a month, and go to the website, RogueWarriorsTraining.com. We want to promote that. We want people signed up for the online classes. Check it out for a month. Keep training, till you get it perfect. So you'll be there a while.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, Lenny, thank you so much for talking with me today. That was a lot of fun. We more than beat our last interview. We're at almost 2 hours here.
Edgar, thank you so much. Dude, you've made a huge impact in my life with this. I can't thank you enough. Honestly, I really can't. This is great talking with you. Even when we're talking on the phone and we're talking about stuff, we're on the phone for hours. It's just,
I think we did another 2 hours the other day. Yeah.
What you're doing with this is awesome. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody is having a radio talk show talking to Aikido. Yeah, you have other topics, but the Aikido thing, dude, you're getting some great interviews. And you know what? I think you're going to be getting a lot more. You're going to get some really, really big name people on here.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to lots of people. This is part of my learning process too. I'm still a Q student, so what better way than to learn from all the Aikido people around the world? I go to your stuff every day, though.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Thank you for being on the program. I hope we can talk again soon. And this is surely going to be another popular video. People check it out. You got a lot of fans.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, did you stick around for the full 2 hours? If you did, thank you for staying with me to hear my interview. My second interview with Lenny Sly. Super fun guy to chat with. He loves Aikido. That much is obvious. Watch for his appearance at the upcoming Aikido at the Leading Edge telesummit coming up here in May, being put on by Miles Kessler. For more information on that, visit theintegraldojo.com. That's theintegraldojo.com. And you'll see when they put up the schedule and everything. So check out that website for more information on that event. Many of you are subscribers to Lenny Sly's Rogue Warriors YouTube channel. If not, go subscribe and then go to roguewarriorstraining.com. That's roguewarriorstraining.com and sign up for his exclusive online classes, not available on YouTube. You'll find tons of videos on there with really detailed information on techniques and even the basics if you want to get started. Find a partner. Start training at home at roguewarriorstraining.com. Just go there and subscribe. Nice and cheap monthly fee. It's well worth it. If you like Rogue Warriors channel, also check out and subscribe to Iwama Warriors channel. Iwama Warriors VA Beach. That channel is run by our friend Anthony Paul. So send him good comments and subscribe there also. You've been listening to the Edgar Ortega radio show. Please check out my playlist entitled Exploring Aikido at Edgar Ortega channel. And please subscribe to my channel to catch all my upcoming interviews with people in the Aikido world and on other topics. You can check out my previous interviews there with other people in the Aikido world as well. As always, thank you for listening to the Edgar Ortega radio show.